YouTube, Glow Yard Gang podcast listeners across the globe. I'm sorry. Welcome to another episode of We Talk Combat, where we talk all things combat sports and sports entertainment. I am one of your hosts, King. I'm joined by my fellow co-hosts today. We have Queen in the building. What's up, babe? How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you doing today?
I'm great, babe. Thank you for asking. I think that's the first time somebody asked me in return. Also, we have Travis in the building. This guy, is he dealing with technical difficulties? How are you today, bro?
I'm good, bro. How's everybody else doing?
Good, bro. BA in the house. How you feeling today, bro? How's the new little one and all, the family? How you feeling?
First and foremost, everyone's healthy, so that's the most important thing. Coming from that, and I'm cool. Matter of fact, bigger question is, how you doing?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, I'm good, bro. Thank you for asking.
Okay,
again.
Cool. We'll get that out of the way.
Life has been wild pretty recently. I think for everybody, but I think everybody's seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's a great time right now. But last but not least, back. I need an Arsenio Hall whoop. Back in the house for a special appearance. Our guy Devon himself. How you feeling, Dev? How you feeling, bro?
Hey, look, I'm going on a streak now.
Yes, sir. That's 2 in a row.
Woo!
All right, Joe. Oh my goodness, Travis, you like so behind. He like everybody. The joke of the room is he's 5 seconds behind, just about. So when he hears it, it's like 5 seconds behind. Just to let you guys know. But if you don't know already, do us a favor. First and foremost, if you're new to the show, hit that subscribe button somewhere near Devon's left shoulder, down there near that. I was going to say something. I don't want to go that far. People may think I'm suspect, but that left shoulder down there, please hit the subscribe button. Also hit the like button, the notification bell as well, if you would. Become a part of this family, this Glow Yard thing. We're trying to grow this. We appreciate all of the new subscribers we have. So if you're seeing this and you're a new subscriber, we appreciate you. Please hit the like button. I know a lot of folks were excited at the short that was actually edited by Travis himself. So shout out to him doing that short. And putting that out there. We got a lot of engagement with the short, so hopefully we have a lot of new fans that'll be here supporting the show. And welcome to the Glow Yard, y'all. Feel free also at the end of the show, we comment or respond to all questions and comments as long as you hit us with the @ WTC. We Talk Combat at WTC, so we know you're talking to us and not someone in the Glow Yard as well. We'll get to you guys at the end of the show before we end it. And if you don't know, or if you're new around here, again, I'll say that we do highs and lows. We do wrestling tea, and then we'll do questions and comments and have a few ads in between. We apologize, but support us if you could. But with all that being said, let's get to the highs and lows. What up? Okay, y'all. So the way we do this now is we discuss the whole entire week of WWE now and WWE affiliates. So we used to do show by show and give you a rundown of our highs and lows of the show and also a letter grade. But I thought to maybe quicken up the pace and with the product being at the level it was for a second, that we just do it as a whole week. So with that being said, we'll be talking about Raw, NXT, TNA Impact as well, if anybody is seeing that, and Friday Night SmackDown. We'll go around the room. Like I said, we'll give our highs and lows of the week and also give a letter grade. So I'm going to give a show real quick of what happened on Raw and SmackDown and NXT as well, because I didn't see TNA. I apologize. It's hard for me to see TNA. We're trying to get a workaround around that or some way to watch TNA. So we'll see. Shout out to Bobby Monsoon if he was here. I may have to watch our favorite movie, Pirates of the Caribbean. But we'll see where we'll have to go with that. But on Raw, we had the Intercontinental Championship was defended from Dominic Mysterio against AJ Styles. We also had who's returning, if you can't see that. Jimmy Uso returned on Monday. So they are having a reunion. They had a little brotherly moment, you could say. On NXT, we had DIY returning for their 10-year anniversary, I guess for debuting in NXT. They returned and actually attacked Trick Williams. So we'll talk about that a little bit, how people feel about that. SmackDown, Brock Lesnar returned after a borderline classic of John Cena and Sami Zayn. And I don't throw that word around a lot, especially dealing with Sami Zayn. But yeah, it's a great match. We'll talk about that. Talk about Brock Lesnar getting involved. What we thought about that, him returning. But what everybody's mainly here for, shout out to the lady herself. AJ Lee returned at the end of the night to assist CM Punk. So she's now signed company. So she'll be regularly seen, and we'll things with the T. But I guess first and foremost, we'll start with you, babe. What were your highs and lows of this week? And also give a letter grade if you could. And she's frozen. Travis, we'll start with you then, Travis. And I'll get back to her when she returns.
All right. For this week of Raw, the highs and lows, pretty much what's that? The bronze and the bronze promo, Jey Uso at LA Knight, that was totally mid. The only favorite thing I liked about that is with the whole tribal thief and the Yeet and the Skeet Man and all that stuff. I know it's not making sense now, but I thought it was pretty funny. Finn Balor getting cheered for, pretty much being a low. Like, I don't understand why the fans, just in general, wants to keep cheering for this guy. Like, he's trash. Like, he's just complete trash. But I will say this about being in France, the France crowd and everything. It don't matter if you're good, a heel, whatever. You're going to get those people's, being loud, cheerful, everything. Like, if I was a talent going overseas, like, I would love to wrestle in France. Like, that's how much I like France. Also, going back to that backlash and that whole Jey Uso interest, and he was going bananas and going crazy over that. I thought this was funny too. That backstage moment with Rhea Ripley and the Kabuki Warriors, and at the end, like just before Asuka left, and Kyrie looked at Rhea, and then she did that. It does those double turn and everything. Looked kind of like nervous and anything. Like, I thought that was pretty funny. But it's that CM Punk. I knew that's gonna lead up until Friday, but my boys lost again. LA Knight lost and got took out of the match completely. So this is highly unlikable. But NXT, like to me, this was my favorite show throughout the whole week. Like, it started off hot with Jada and Lash Legends, like two of my favorite people on the entire show. As far as like the women, we got to see Callie Armstrong. Now, I've seen her a few times on Evolve, doing a couple matches on Evolve. I thought she did a great job, even though she did take the L this week. But
you make sure
also,
to say she's
shout
a
out
champion.
to Josh Briggs. Yeah, she is a champion. Yes, she is a champion. But that Josh Briggs moment with Javon Evans and the Undertaker, I exactly thought that the Undertaker's about to show up. Man, that joint have me my knock socket off. But this is another thing. Now, I know that happened the last championship match with Oba and the other guys, but it seems like now, I don't know if this is gonna be like a reoccurring thing with every time Oba gets a new contender for his title, it seems like that next week he's always in a tag match with him with another two guys and everything like that, and it's always against Dark State. I mean, it's kind of getting boring to me a little bit, but it's pretty much, it's tolerable down this week. But like I told BA yesterday when we had a conversation, I felt like SmackDown was in like short this week. Like, as far as like with the matches and everything, it felt like for almost what we said, a 2-hour show, BA short, like entirely too short. But
Travis, the entire first segment, I think, with John Cena between his promo and the match, I think was like an hour. I think it was like 50-something minutes, they said. So there you go.
That's how long it. Wow.
Yeah, I think between everything that happened, I think it was
Right.
about an hour.
But of course, for everybody's favorite moment of the week, with AJ Lee coming back and everything, I felt when she came out, CM Punk totally left the arena. That was Phil standing out there ringside, looking like a proud husband and everything like that. But that's favorite week. I let her grade the entire week. I give it a B plus. And that's only because of Rob with NXT. Like NXT really pulled it strong for me this
All right,
week.
so you said a B plus. All right, Babe Queen, are you there with us?
Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay.
I think I say yeah for me.
What's your what's your highs and lows for this week in WWE, and also your
So it's gonna actually be a little bit mixed up this time. Well, I'm gonna definitely say the low was probably eating up that whole hour for that John Cena, Brock Lesnar, and all that stuff. Like that was a low. Like it didn't need to be that long. At a point, it was like, it wasn't even that much talking. I feel like it was just kind of we knew what was going to happen, and it was impressive, and yada yada yada. And Brock came back, but I feel like a lot of that ate up a lot of time this week. I actually thought that the Dragon Lee and Finn Balor looked nice. What was that when we were still overseas? I think was that Monday. Yeah, so I actually thought that match actually looked pretty good. As I said, I'm always more interested in seeing a lot more technical and like high flying and just more matches, other than just watching people do grappling and all that stuff. So I always actually like watching those ones. So that actually was a highlight for me this week. Like I actually didn't have anything negative to say about Finn Balor either, as far as that goes. I, I'm still at the point where I don't know why we keep doing this Rusev Sheamus thing. I know why we're doing it. And like we said last week, that was probably one of the more impressive matches when we watched Clash of Paris. But I'm just tired of watching those two go together. But I understand why, because neither of them have an equal opponent physically. That's why they just keep throwing them together, because they're the only ones that are equally matched to each other. So we're just going to keep seeing them over and over again. And as I said, it's been kind of disappointing, boring. I know everybody probably, feels more interested in the whole CM Punk, Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins, and AJ Lee quad thing that we got going on, which, as I said, everybody kind of spoiled the surprise of it. So it kind of was a little bit of oh, look, she's here. But also, I wasn't really the hugest AJ Lee fan in the first place. Again, I feel like she's one of those people that she's really small, and that they tended to put her against people that I don't feel like she would physically be able to really beat. Like, let's be real, in her previous career before she had retired. I don't know what they're gonna do this time. Right now, a lot of the women that are the same build as her are currently, I think, out also on injuries. Because I think Liv Morgan is out on an injury. Is Alexa Bliss out on an injury? No, I don't think she's out on an injury. There's another blonde person I feel like that's out on an injury that is like a similar build to her. Maybe not. I don't know. I did want to say that Stephanie Vaquer again is one of the bigger draws. And her and Io Sky's match was all right actually. But Stephanie Vaquer's moves are getting stale. That's my issue with her. I feel like she's getting a little bit stale, so I want to see a little bit more out of her. Right now, I'm kind of blown because a lot of my main people that I like to watch are out on injuries, or coming back on injuries. So I'm still looking forward to Bianca coming back and seeing her on one of the shows. But all the women that I'm really usually cheering for aren't around. And as I said, Becky Lynch's promos at this point are just her being like Seth Rollins Jr. So I don't really care much for him either. It's the same thing every week with that lady, just against a new person. Every week it's the same thing. I think that's really the main things I wanted to really touch on, because I said I know everybody's going to kind of talk more about the AJ Lee thing. As I said, it was just expected, so it didn't really have the pop for me, but I'm glad that they sold lots of merchandise. I will give John Cena's little part of the speech, though. I'll give him credit on the fact that
Oh, I think we lost her again for a second. I think she was towards the end of her statement anyway. We got to get her letter grade, basically.
Okay,
But,
I'll give you my letter grade real quick if I'm still here.
yes.
I'm actually going to give it a C+ this week, because it was There was a lot more highlights that were watchable, but as I said, there were just a lot of low moments too that were just eaten up for no reason. But I think they were eaten up for merch sales so they could sell some more Brock stuff and AJ Lee stuff. So C+.
Okay, so C+ from you and B+ from Travis. All right, BA, what were your highs and lows this week of WWE product? And also, what's your letter grade?
To me, first and foremost, Raw was average. It really didn't necessarily sell me on anything. I do like Jay finally coming out. That's definitely, I said Jay. Wow, Jimmy. Thank you for Jimmy. I like to see them two together. I think it's time. I think it's time now for them to be together. Clearly, we can see Jay as a solo artist. And Jimmy held it down too on SmackDown. I just didn't like the fact that he was always linked in with somebody else's beef. So if he links in with Jay's beef, it's way more organic, way more natural than you trying to always fight solo and his MFT. Then you need more people, and that's too much. So I like him here. But that's one. Two would be, yeah, that's it for Raw. I really didn't like Raw at all. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna switch over to NXT. NXT was different for me. I like the DIY coming out and going against Trick. It's just, I like to see Trick versus main roster talent, so he can always show you how good he is against the main roster. So it's not a shock once he gets here. Oh, he's actually doing well. Well, yeah, he was doing it in NXT too. Like, they literally came down to NXT and they had a match or whatever the case may be. So that's interesting. So I like to see where that goes. And I didn't know they was as highly decorated DIY individually. So shout out to them as well. But the best thing for me, obviously, is was that at the end of NXT when that tag match, and my guy said Joe Hendry, and I was like, nah, he's not making an appearance on this. I know he's on NXT quite frequently, so it's not a shot that he's on there. But now they're starting to do his segments like this, and it's like, oh, that's cool because he did show up out of nowhere because they said his name. And like I think I said that the U King is just, or in the group, it's entertainment, guys, and it's just like, I like to be entertained at times, and it's not always we don't get stories like that like we used to and things like that. So the entertainment part is lacking. So when I see moments like that, I do like a little mini clap for it, and that leads me to SmackDown because I didn't see TNA, so I'm switching over to SmackDown. That was John Cena being John Cena. They gave him an open mic, and he did, and he delivered. Like, he made 20 minutes go by pretty fast. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And then Sammy came out, and I was talking to Trav while I was cutting his hair. I was like, yo, like, this bothers me, the fact that Sammy was trying to do the Cody and steal some of John Cena's limelight. Like I said, it's not your moment, bro. But after I got over that initial process, I was like, hold up, he's gonna do an open challenge too. Okay, cool. I don't expect him to beat John. I don't expect John Cena to beat him. So I knew Brock was gonna come. I knew that was one of the ways to stop that match. But I was like, if he does the open challenge, the draft is coming. So if he does the open challenge and he leads into the draft, somebody can come up from the NXT roster and take that title. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, over. So that was entertaining. A little bit too long. I think that match was too long. So we could have cut that in half, and I'd have been okay with it. The false finishes are problematic at best, but the thing with the false finishes is the fact that, like you said, like, it's seen anybody can kick out of AA now. Like, it's not even a shot. But when Logan Paul does it, when Sammy does it, that means it dilutes when Cody did it. So you might not need to be a super guy to beat Cody because Cody beat Super Cena. Super Cena is no longer a thing anymore. He has diluted himself down to whatever you see now, when everybody kicks out his move. So that's important, right? And the rest of the match was cool. I liked how everything led into the AJ Lee moment. I'm gonna get at the Dev. I'm quite sure he's gonna, do his thing on that. But it was cool to see her. She's in shape. That was the most important thing I was looking for.
Pause.
Unlike, let's say, I'm gonna unpause that because it's AJ Lee.
No. Rewind a little bit. I took my finger off the mute button too late. You said Devin gonna do his thing on that.
Okay, I'm gonna do an extreme pause on that. Thank you. I appreciate
There
you.
you go. No problem.
With that being said, like I said, she's in shape. Unlike let's say Nikki Bella, right? Nikki Bella she was never a great wrestler. She was never like the person. She was always there because she was the typical kind of diva-esque type of a chick, type of a lady, type of a wrestler, and she tried to wrestle from there. I don't like that. I want you to be a fluid wrestler, and then if you want to go certain routes, you can do that. AJ Lee is a fluid wrestler. She can wrestle. And she clearly was taking care of her body during the years that she was out. So I expect her to hit the ground running. I expect her to perform very well against Becky and whoever else that she goes against. So I like that for her. But all in all, like I said, Raw was such a dud for me. I wish it was way more than what it was. Damian Priest is getting his ass kicked, and he got Jesus Christ, Aleister Black kicked his ass. So I don't know what they're doing with Damian Priest on SmackDown. We got like 2 seconds of Melo Don't Miss, and that's it for them. So I gotta always come back around to my people. So I don't think I saw all truth at all. Yeah, so we want to give some negatives to that. So I guess all in all, this is a C- for the whole week. I wish it was more, but only a C- for me.
Okay. So we have a C+, a B+, a C-. All right, let's get to you, Devin. What were your highs and lows of this week's WWE product? And also give us a letter grade, please.
All right, thanks. Sorry about that. All right, so first off, shout out to Travis's segment was brought to you by Internet Explorer. So, good times with that. I'm gonna go a little backwards I'm gonna give my ratings first. Raw is gonna be a C- for me, and it wasn't very memorable for me, so I'm not really leaning in favor of Raw this week, as it has been on several weeks, unfortunately. But I'm a big fan of Dirty Dom. What I don't really care for is the fact that his matches are ending with interference, where he has the ability of winning on his own. But, as much as I love seeing El Grande Americano, him interfering in the match was unneeded, in my opinion. I get that Dom is building up, I don't want to say a bond, but basically a partnership with El Grande Americano. But, just having him interfering in his match to help him win, I just feel like is unnecessary. So that kind of also, it leaves a bad impression on me. Other than that, most of the Raw broadcast was forgettable. The CM Punk Becky Lynch segment, I think that Becky Lynch is doing good, holding her own with the promos with CM Punk. We, I guess, knew what they were setting up for, so I didn't really expect too much from it. I'm not a huge fan of the whole slapping him thing, but it is what it is. So I'm going to say, I'm sorry, what did I say? I said a C- for that. I unfortunately missed NXT this week. I am liking the fact that Joe Hendry is being used more. I didn't really get the lore with him when he first started showing up, so getting that exposure more, I'm enjoying. Just seeing the fact that he's being used, but I guess just the combination of WWE, TNA working together, just going back to like just the 90s days, it was almost a cardinal sin to mention any other wrestling promotion on your show. And the fact that we reached a point where we have different promotions working together on TV, acknowledging each other's history, sharing each other's championships, even though right now technically WWE championships almost mean nothing. But the fact that those partnerships are happening nowadays is just kind of unheard of. My 90s kid is just going crazy thinking about that. And I'm just happy to see that they're doing that. And I think NXT, just for the nature of the style of NXT, I think it's a good fit anyway, just from the style of, TNA or even really any indies. I just think because NXT is more fast paced. But again, I didn't really see it, so I can't really give it a grade, to be fair. We all know where I'm going with this next. My SmackDown grade is always at this point an A+. And I know we know why, but I want to start off with the show was stacked with talent in general, big stars. They had a lot of big names on that show, and I just think that there was obviously a lot of build around AJ's return, but there was a lot that I just feel was put into the show. I know the Cena Zayn segment carried on for a long time, but I think Cena is Cena. We all know he's on his way out. That's no secret. But I've noticed that his promos lately, especially with Logan Paul, he is doing a similar thing that I feel he did with Roman, where Roman had a hard time with cutting his own promos, or his promos didn't make sense, or just didn't care about him. And I just feel that when Cena goes against somebody in that ring on the mic, he is really doing what he can to challenge them to improve their own skill. And I just appreciate the fact that he's getting that out to challenge those future faces of the company and their ability to work the audience and to give their promos. So that was my takeaway from that segment with Cena and Zayn. Brock Lesnar, I mean, I'm a fan of Lesnar. I'm a fan of Suplex City. I'm a fan of him just beating people up. Again, that kind of just stems back from the whole 90s thing, just watching him beat up Spike Dudley, unfortunately. Thank goodness. Hey, shout out to Spike. He's still doing well. Even though he still doesn't remember that segment. But yeah, and then before I get to AJ Lee, I want to give out some honorable mentions. First off, Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella in her match against Becky Lynch. I guess Nikki got her revenge on John Cena when she gave him that kick in the middle of the match. Everybody thought she was going for Becky Lynch. John obviously popped up in the ring, and she went ahead and gave him her payback. So good times with that. Naomi crashing out right now because of AJ Lee's return, and I just see Big Jim is going to be holding up some I don't know, homeless signs, or he's going to start a Patreon or something like that to help him get back up because he's getting kicked out, he's getting beat down. Naomi is going to take all her frustrations out on him for keeping her out right now and missing this return. Charlotte and Alexa, I love their segments. I love their segments because this side of Charlotte I never thought I would see. And I know she's kind of going towards the twilight of her career. And just to see the fact that she's able to have fun and enjoy it, just anybody really, just seeing the person enjoying their time where they are, not feeling like they're being forced to do certain things, even if they are, but they give the impression of happiness when they're delivering their spots or when they're having their segments. I love that. And I love that that's coming out on Charlotte right now because of Alexa or her pairing with Alexa. So I definitely wish the best for them, whether they, whatever decisions are made with their story, at least as a person, I definitely wish them the best and hope that they continue to get happiness out of what they're doing at this point. And I'm going to kind of piggyback off of Travis, what he said with Phil Brooks. Phil Brooks left the stadium when AJ Mendez or AJ Lee popped up and did her big return. And I've watched that segment probably 50 times by now. I've watched it on repeat on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I've watched it all over the place. And a takeaway for me is there was a frame when AJ started walking out and they showed CM Punk, or they showed Phil standing by the ring smiling, just a proud husband. and just seeing that celebration, seeing that happiness come from him as a person. I love the fact that WWE did that. It just felt like a wholesome segment when anything that involved them being in the same, either the same frame or just back to back. I just love that. I definitely missed AJ being in the ring. I've always been a fan of AJ. I am a huge fan of the fact that she is an advocate for mental health preservation, and she brings a lot of attention towards her own story with dealing with mental health issues, as well as advocating improving them. And she's just done a lot of work behind the scenes, and I really just appreciate that. And to see that she's kind of back in that spotlight and got the pop that she got, I love that whole thing. I just felt like it was a really big feel good moment. So I'm excited to see what she does. I know that we know the Becky Lynch thing is going on right now, but there's definitely some pairings I would love to see her with. I'd love to see her with Liv Morgan, because I'm a Liv fan, but I just feel like AJ, Liv Morgan, and Alexa are their own. Oh, sorry, I triggered my echo. They are their own versions or pieces of Harley Quinn to me, and I'm just a Harley fan. I just love Harley, so I would love to see them interact with each other. However they do, whether it's side by side or whether it's against each other. I'm just interested in seeing how AJ interacts with the current talent. I also just like her promos. I went back and watched some of the promos that she was cutting, and I can tell why her and Punk are together. She definitely she dismantled some of those women back in the day, and I hope that she continues with delivering the type of promos and interactions that she had in the past. And I hope that it flourishes, especially with the women's division being so prominent right now, having their WrestleMania main events and, their own evolution shows. I'm glad to see that both CM Punk and AJ Lee have the opportunity of ending their story with the company, hopefully on a good note, hopefully with positivity, and that they enjoy their last stretch, for whatever they're doing. It seems like they have their love, at least right now, for the business. And I just wish them the best. That's pretty much all I have right now.
Okay.
And again, that was an A+ for me.
So what's your overall week grade?
So since I got a C-, I guess it's going to be more of a B, I guess.
Okay.
Kind of adding everything together.
Oh, that's fine. So we have a, what's that? C plus.
It was C-.
No, hold on. C
sorry.
plus, I think, for Queen, right? It was a what you give it, Travis? A B plus, right? BA, I think, gave it a C-, and Devon, you just gave it a C+, right?
C-.
C-. Okay, so C-, C-, B+, and C+. Okay. I'm gonna give the entire week. I'm trying not to stay on anything too long, because I'm gonna give the entire week a C. Raw was forgettable. I don't know where we can go there. Dom getting his championship. I'm with you, Dev. I wish he would just win outright, or even if he doesn't win outright, let him cheat on his own. You feel me? Let him have that personality, the lie, cheat, to steal the Eddie Guerrero like you're trying to do, and let him just cheat on his own. Just find a way, a clever way weekly to go and win the championship and hold on to the championship. I'm fine with that. But El Grande, that's my guy as well. But I don't need to see El Grande Americano right there. Not for that reason. To have him. That's just a cheap way to include him. I felt like the Usos as well. That's just a get out of jail free card by Paul. He had to throw them together. It was time for them to get back together, but that shows his laziness as far as booking them individually, where they can't, hold it down by themselves, and that you got to put them back together to get a cheap pop. NXT. So yeah, like I say, Raw was just forgettable in general. NXT. Shout out to my guy Trick. We'll see if this leads to Carmelo returning and helping him out. They gave a cheap pop to Carmelo too. He said he was still, holding it down for Melo. He said something. What he and all. I'm sorry. So we'll see if this leads to anything with Melo being involved. I think Trick is about to eventually come up as well. Shout out to BA talking about that with Oba getting to come up maybe to like face a Sami Zayn for an open championship. That would be cool, but I think Trick will be on Raw eventually. Well, maybe not, because maybe they'll do something with Carmelo on him as well and keep them together. So maybe it'd be the opposite way. Who knows? Go ahead, Devon.
Oh no, I was saying I agree.
Okay, yeah, I just think it's about time for them. That's why they're doing this segment with DIY and all. Shout out to Joe Hendry as well. BA, you talked about your guy. He came back. You got to give Joe Hendry the NXT championship. I think that's the payoff with Trick doing this whole Trick and Nate thing. Like, give Joe Hendry the NXT championship, especially with Oba and them leaving. I think it's about time. Get him involved in that. Get him involved in more stories. Let him be involved and let him get his championship.
Oba's gonna be a beast.
Yeah, I think Oba. This whole entire Oba's going to be a beast, yes, but I really think Trick Williams. This entire show was going to be a Trick Williams like mainly type show. I wanted to kind of talk about Trick and what I thought. Maybe I'll include Oba with that as well, but what I thought they were going to do and how I thought they were going to impact. Well, I guess we thought they were going to impact the main roster once they got on board, but then the AJ Lee thing happened and all, and I was like, I can't not have it mainly be about AJ Lee. So I'm probably going to save that more towards next week, because knowing Triple H's booking and all, this follow-up week, since we're really not having anything going with the PLE, probably won't be that great, and we'll just be talking about these shows were trash. But yeah, NXT had some great moments. I'm concerned though, Travis. I know your guy Javon. Javon's nice and all, and I know he's young, but I hate that they have him having all these extreme bumps. And I'm like, I know he's young, and they want to do that and show that he's young and he can do those bumps because he's young. But bro, a bump is a bump, and you keep taking a bunch of bumps early, you won't have a long career. So I get worried about Javon Evans and doing that. Hold up, Travis. I think I might have you muted, bro. Are you muted? Did you mute? I don't know, but I'll keep going. Like you said, sponsored by Internet Explorer. SmackDown. I didn't see TNA as well. I gotta somehow get to see TNA, man. That's crazy. But SmackDown. I was fine with John Cena having a long segment or whatever. It was his last SmackDown in general. So like I said, that was the whole point of the show. I think kind of him doing that. I thought it was cool. So here's my thing with Triple H and all. I hate being Debbie Downer and all on the situations, because I love pro wrestling, man. I want to love everything about it, but I love stories. I love storylines. Like, I don't just want to see these cheap pops for a moment. I want to be invested. I thought, like, kind of like Paul Heyman said, wrestling should have won Emmys before and all. Like, I think that the storylines of some of these storylines have been some of the incredible, like, stories just in general, where you should be able to win Emmys and all. But with that being said, like, we still don't know why Brock Lesnar and John Cena are beefing. No clue. Neither one of them have said really anything about either one or the other.
I think it's just a check. I think it's just a checklist at this point.
He wants that title he never lost.
That's what I'm saying. It's just a checklist, but that's what I'm saying. We have no storyline connection, so it's just two major names being thrown together for some event that's about to happen for the first time on ESPN, and they want to just get people to watch for that reason. So, like I said, there's no storyline for that. Like, a lot of SmackDown in between was filler because of the segments and all, because of the major things. So I didn't think SmackDown was that great, because it was just kind of ended as far as greatness. The middle, like you said, as soon as that Damian Priest stuff happened and he was hurt at the beginning of the match, you knew it was about to happen. I'm surprised they had the match. I was like, damn, they're probably not even gonna have this match. Once he got hurt, I'm like, he's not gonna do it. But once he got in the ring, I'm like, Aleister Black's gonna win. I'm like, what happened to Ron Killings? Who knows? Aleister Black is already prepared for a push. They talked about that. Damian Priest, I wasn't a big Damian Priest fan, and I don't know what they're going to do with him as well. So a lot of guys just stuck. Instead of having that big, SmackDown 6 and all that like you had before, guys just aren't there. Paul just don't want to have him there. What else happened? Like I said, Alexa and Charlotte, that's cool. It is what it is now. Enjoying their time together. Let them be. The U.S. Championship, Julia and all that. Wow. I don't know. You got to do something with that. Like, maybe because Becky's on Raw. I guess CM Punk and them are on Raw technically too. They just did this for Chicago and all, being in SmackDown. So I guess all of them are on Raw. They got to get somebody to come back, maybe an old legend to go. Maybe give it to Trish Stratus, the U.S. title or something like that. Like, they got to do something with that one, because the U.S. title is struggling. And Paul, it's really Paul's fault again with booking Julia the way he does and all. But SmackDown overall. Like AJ Lee. Sorry, let me talk about AJ Lee. So here's my thing. Biggest AJ Lee fan when she was originally there, and that has nothing to do with her wrestling ability. I know AJ Lee. AJ Lee kind of like to go against what Queen, like I said earlier. I feel like she was more of she was able to, she was a great wrestler, and she wrestled back in a time when there weren't really any wrestlers around back when she was going down was wrestling. So there weren't even any like powerhouses and all that stuff to wrestle her because it was during the Divas Revolution back when I don't want to say it was a revolution with the Divas era. Back when there was a bunch of Kellys and all that type of stuff in the ring and all, and the Nikki Bellas and Brie Bellas and all that. So she was the one holding it down. I am kind of worried with her size now, with the way the ladies are now. There's some bigger ladies in wrestling, the Rhea Ripleys, the Jades, the Bianca Belairs, the Nia Jaxes, and all. Seeing them go against AJ Lee's now, and AJ being able to, beat a lot of them, that's going to be a little kind of suspect now and all. But like I said, I wasn't the biggest fan of her. I appreciated what she did for the women's revolution. Like, she did take that charge. I didn't really like it as much because I felt like it was kind of nepotism in a way. And there's nothing wrong with nepotism. I didn't dislike it because it was nepotism. I disliked it because I felt like she was doing the same thing CM Punk was doing. I felt like it was exactly CM Punk. Like, I felt even the pipe bomb, it was, you're CM Punk's lady, so you're doing CM Punk's promo, and we're getting that again. It's awesome what it led towards and all that. So I wasn't the biggest fan, but like I said, I thought it was awesome for all the fans of her for what she has done for the like you say, the sport or sports entertainment, as far as for the women and all that. She really kind of spearheaded that women's revolution, and she had to leave because of the issues between Punk and WWE. So she never really got to bounce the way she wanted to. It was just issues. So I give her respect for that. It was a massive moment. Huge return. People loved it. I'm guessing they're going to talk about, hopefully, again, I don't know what storyline happens from this. They're just beefing. I know she left with the Intercontinental Championship, so I don't know if she's going to actually still have the belt, and that's going to be a storyline where she is now stolen Becky Lynch's title or whatever like that. Like, I don't know. I don't know what Paul is going to do. But my thing, like I said, it was a bunch of pops and a bunch of major faces that returned, which was awesome. We got to see that. But they were all expected. I expected Brock Lesnar to return as soon as I saw the open challenge happen. I'm like, there's no way, like you said, BA, Sammy's going to beat John Cena, but John Cena's not going to win his title, so Brock's going to stop that. And then AJ Lee, we already knew that was going to happen as soon as, Punk talked about on Raw. That was basically done, and WWE shop basically snitched what happened by mistake or whatever. So that was already known for me. And like I said, overall, though, NXT was probably the highlight of the week, like you said, as far as the actual overall wrestling show. SmackDown had the heavy names. Raw was just trash. I don't know what's going on with Raw on Netflix. Before you know it, Netflix is going to be done with WWE as well. WWE does this over and over again. They get people to give them all this money, and then when they get there, they realize not as many people watching them as we thought, as they saying and all this stuff and trying to portray. And then they're like, well, you can go to the next person on. They find someone else to give them even more money. So I guess ESPN's that. But yeah, that's my overall opinion this week. I'm gonna give it a C. So we can move on from that.
Hey, real quick, shout out to John Cena though, because I know that I was saying the checklist with Brock Lesnar and everything. I'm just assuming he's getting these rivalries just kind of closed, so to speak. But shout out to him for the I'm gonna say move stealing, gimmick stealing, or whatever. But the fact that he's doing move sets, or he's doing moves for his previous rivals, but he's doing it to pay respect to him, or he's doing it with a positive reasoning, I guess I should say, or respect. So shout out to him for that. Shout out to him attempting to do those moves and pulling some of them off. Obviously, he's not going to do them as good as the originator or the person who's using them, but the fact that he's trying, I appreciate that. So I just think it's kind of cool. He saved up all his specials, and now he's just spamming that left trigger button. And I think that's cool. I like the fact that he's wrapping up. He's doing an actual wrap up of his career.
He's super saying that he starts with infinite finishers.
Oh,
Travis,
yeah.
Travis, them highs and lows definitely weren't brought to us by Internet Explorer. Whew. But what were they brought to us by? Man, This I Was Told segment is brought to you by the folks over at FANATICS. FANATICS is the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love the most, including WWE. You can earn fan cash to redeem them in your orders, jersey protection for when your favorite player is traded or changes teams. They also have an unrivaled selection of authentic fan gear and FANATICS exclusives that are only available on the site. So if you need some merch and are interested in helping the channel, scan the QR code on the screen or follow the link, which is always in the description. Yes, sir. Shout out to our sponsors over at FANATICS. If you're interested in any apparel or WWE or sports in general, NBA again, MLB, help us out with that link, or you QR code that you saw on the screen. It'll take you to the page and you can help us out by using that link. Let's go. Travis, you back with us? I'm guessing. I think you are. All right, let's get to the wrestling TV. All right, y'all. First thing up on Wrestling T. Shout out to Wrestling News for this. They said that WWE News, Post Malone challenges Seth Rollins to a WWE WrestleMania 42 match. Does anybody have anything they want to say about this one?
Did his PO book this match, or throw out that challenge, or like I don't know? Is he?
I'm tired of them trying to make us take Post Malone seriously. I will never take him seriously as a rapper or a wrestler.
I hate that he's calling him a rapper, but yeah, I didn't really have much to say about that. I just wanted to show that. Shout out to Wrestling News, but I hope this is completely false because I do not want to see Post Malone in the wrestling ring.
Hey, you know what? If they put him up against Roger Jackson, then I might be cool with that.
Hey, you're right. Keep your rap music. That's how I feel. Next on the next on the T, we got Bruce Pritchard. I didn't crop all this because it basically tells you everything you need to say based off of what you can see. But thanks to the Ringside roster, Wrestling News and Rumors for this one. He says Bruce Pritchard, shout out to Brother Love, says WWE only listens to fans who buy tickets and not haters who complain. So I'll let you guys tackle this, but I wanted to say first, I talked about this many times before. You can't say that wrestling fans, the guys that complain, most of the folks that complain are OG wrestling fans. You've priced us out of being wrestling fans that go to the events. So we can't buy tickets anymore because they're too expensive. So you're saying that you're only listening to the rich people? You only listen to the people in Saudi giving you money? That's what you're basically saying. So it's Bruce Pritchard. I hate this product every day, y'all. Every day more and more. But go ahead. Anybody want to say something about this before we move on?
I wonder if they take Green Shirt guys' thoughts and opinions on the stories or anything like that. I wonder. Like, obviously, there's a lot of toxicity in the IWC, but at the same time, that should also give you an idea of what you're doing, whether the fans actually care about it or not. Because the people that are in the arena, yeah, they can cheer and boo, but a segment can happen and enough people can go a certain way, whether it's cheering or booing or whatever, to where they drown out the other people that don't care about it or hate whatever's happening. And I just feel like it could be so confusing or mixed signals from the live crowd unless it's a unanimous cheering or booing. But I mean, I don't think that, completely dismissing the idea having that $3.7 billion in debt. TKO. No, I'm just kidding. I just want to shout out to Bobby.
Shout out Queen BA. I know y'all both want to say something.
Yeah, so like to me, it's like I understand they're trying to position themselves like in the NFL or whatever, like, people that's trying to call shots and things like that, major organizations that's going to bring in billions. I get that. But the thing, and I'm bringing the NFL up, is because besides certain owners, they really don't badmouth the product like that because they know how important it is. And I think the WWE has too many individuals that don't carry enough weight. Like even an owner like Jerry Jones, he carries weight. Unfortunately, right? These guys like Brother Love here and all these other people, like it's too many individuals with their own personalities that think that they can get away with saying certain stuff. Like it bothers me. Like, yo, who are you? Like, I understand you got some position, but yo, your position can be replaced. I can't replace an owner. I mean, I can kind of get him out of there, but it takes a lot. You can be easily replaced with somebody else. So you should, but they don't do those things to get rid of people like this. But that's another issue altogether. But it's just they don't make mistakes. Like other organizations don't say certain things.
What business do you know that would alienate any fan or any supporter?
95% of them don't.
All right, Queen, go ahead, big.
Basically, just to repeat everything everyone else said, is that at this point, the product to be a in-person watcher has been priced out for most normal people. Like, I can't afford to go there with a group of my friends, especially if it's a situation where I got to consider parking and then eating and then all that stuff. You priced me out. So I can only afford to watch at home. So basically, you're saying I don't have the right to make a comment on it, even though I still support in other ways, even though I don't go to in-person events. So thanks a lot.
I would love to take you and Apollo to, you feel me, events, to a PLE and all, and have a good seat where it's actually worth sitting and watching the ring instead of looking up at the screen where I could be at home. I would love to do that, but to do that, whew,
you got to refinance your house.
That's going to be a little bit of money. Yeah. Like I remember we had seats, me and Travis. I took Travis to his birthday to a Raw. And we were sitting on the floor, basically on the TV side, where you could see us. We were standing up, and you could see us sitting there. And I think I paid maybe $300 for those tickets between the both of us. And I was on the floor, like you could see us on the TV. And I'm like, okay, that was cool and all. That was an experience and all. Now to do that, we got to talk about spending 4 to 5 figures.
Yeah, like 3 is minimum.
That's crazy.
That's for the nosebleeds.
Yeah, that's wild now, but it is what it is. But hey. I want to go ahead, Devon.
Oh, no, I'm just people are legit spending $30,000 for one night, or even if it was for the whole weekend. $30,000 for a single, even if it was the entire week. That's more than a good portion of this country makes in a year.
Never in my life. Somebody had to pay for that. I wouldn't even want them to pay for it. I'd rather use the money for other stuff. But, hey, we just did the wrestling tee, man. Let me ask our guy, BA. What was that wrestling tee brought to us by?
Playback.
Let's go.
Thank you to our friends over at Playback for this segment. Pause. If you're tired of the national media and the annoying ways they sometimes cover sports and other events, give the Glow Sun Production channel on Playback a try. We cover new and old school basketball, wrestling, and geek culture. And just recently, we've added boxing, mixed martial arts, anime, and even video gaming. So if you have time in your busy day, give our channel on Playback a look and check out some of our replays while you're at it. Another special shout out to our favorite at Playback. Back to the show.
All right, y'all. Make sure to follow us on Playback if you haven't already. We're actually on Playback right now. I got to start it back up. Watching the NFL, but this upcoming Friday we're going to be showing Worlds Collide over there, WWE and AAA's Worlds Collide. So that'll be Friday evening after SmackDown. We'll be showing SmackDown in Discord with the watch party, and then you can join us over and Playback for Worlds Collide. So if you don't know already, go into our description, check us out, and follow absolutely free our Discord and Playback. If you could come on over and ask for a VIP if you join us in Playback, but let's get to any questions and comments if we have any.
Sponsored by True Classic.
Always wanted to try True Classic, but hate shopping online? Keep watching. You've probably seen our ads online. Look, I get it. You're skeptical. I mean, is everything we sell really as soft and well-fitting as we say it is? If you need to try us before you buy us, True Classic now has stores nationwide. Visit one of these stores and you can fit, feel, and outfit a bunch of our customer favorites. So don't wait for shipping or worry about how much to spend. Visit one of our retail stores today and see the true classic difference for yourself.
Hey, shout out to True Classics and DDP. We have one, I guess, comment. Shout out to Nikki joining us today. Welcome to the Glow Yard. And she says, in my opinion, they couldn't smell what the Rock is cooking. Hey, man. They absolutely couldn't. Go ahead, Devon.
Shout out to Nikki for that comment. And that was she and I, that's a friend of mine, and we were kind of talking about that before the show. But just the way that TKO was going and everything is just, I agree. But did we talk about The Rock?
What you mean? About his body and all that?
Yeah.
No, not yet. No.
Okay, because I think that's something that I'd love to talk about.
We'll save that. We'll save that probably for next week when we talk about Trick and all that. I think that'll be a topic altogether. That'll work. But remind me of that if I don't bring it up already, Devon. We'll have you. And Devon, that means Devon, you gonna be back next week?
Yep. That means I'll be back next week.
Oh my God, man! All right, appreciate you, Nikki, man. Join us next week, please. We'll be talking about that and more. But thank you, everybody that's joined us today and that's watched the show. If you got this far, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button near Devon's left shoulder. Also, if you're new around here or if you're old, hit that like button and notification bell as well so you're notified whenever we have shows. We normally have Sunday afternoon shows around 3 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to help us out over here. Help us get to our next goal as well. We got to 100. Thank you to everybody. We're near 150 now. We're trying to get to 500 so we can hopefully get monetized. So with your help, we can definitely get there. We appreciate you guys so much. Also, follow us on myself and Rel on Cap and Crown. We talk about all things NBA, new school and old school. We have shows Monday and Wednesday evenings around 10 p.m. Eastern, if you like that kind of stuff. Also, follow BA, Rel, Will, and Big J on Cuz We Geek, where they talk about all things geek culture and movies and TV. They have shows on Tuesday evenings and Saturday mornings. Also follow my guy BA as well. He's Mr. Do It All. Pause with Calvin and Larry, the 695 crew on Get Off the Damn Fence. They have shows every Wednesday evening. So follow them guys over there. They talk about everything, just pop culture, I'd say in general, but mainly sports. So they'll be talking about the NFL and all that, what's going on this weekend. Also, anything I forgot, follow Travis. He does his comedy stuff. Help out Queen if you could. She's rang the bell. She is now officially, I guess, cancer free. So whoop-de-woo and all that. Do I have an applause? She definitely deserves an applause for that one. So shout out to everybody that gave love, prayer, and support. We appreciate you guys for that so much. Shout out to BA and his new little one with him and his family. That's always love. New bloodline. Shout out to Devon. Shout out to Devon for joining us as always, man. We appreciate the brother whenever he's available. He helps us out so much, man. So appreciate you, bro. Thank you. And with all that being said, y'all, this is We Talk Combat. So we talk combat sports and entertainment, the best damn review show for wrestling, and also the Blackest, y'all. Definitely follow us. Let somebody else know about it as well if they don't. And we'll see y'all next week, man. Same wrestling time, same wrestling place. We out. Peace.